What's up, guys? So I want to make this as simple as possible. I think I've studied it enough, tried 1,000 different ways to make it, to explain it. I think I can explain it pretty simply, and that is money. Just basically what you need to know to understand money, how it works, so we can free ourselves from the unnecessary, from the stupid thought that, the only thing in the world that is money are these fucking monopolized currencies that all these fucking old crinkly ass old men print with their central banks and shit. Okay, let me explain money. So first, let's just use gold. Let's just jump right into it. If I trade this hair tie for gold, who can I then trade the gold to? I can trade it to anybody who's willing to trade their stuff for gold. So with that, there's a certain amount of people in the world that are willing to trade their stuff for gold. Okay? You can imagine, let's say we're back in Egypt and people are using gold as money. That group of people who are willing to trade this stuff for gold might have been really big. So if I want to trade my hair tie for gold, and I did, I could be pretty sure that I could trade my gold to like almost everybody in the economy for anything that they had, because almost everybody in the economy were willing to trade their stuff for gold. Okay? But at the end of the day, gold is just a rock. It is. It's just a rock. If I traded this for if I traded it for a different hair tie, who could I trade that to? Probably a very small group of people that want hair ties, that might be willing to trade their stuff, whatever they have, for a hair tie. So at the end of the day, gold is just a rock. Nowadays, if I trade my hair tie for gold, who could I trade my gold to? The group of people might not be as vast, but still, there's a group of people. What could I trade it to them for? I could trade it to them for their dollar bills, whatever type of currency they have, or I could trade it directly for something. Okay, at the end of the day, what's important to note is that the economy is just trading. If I trade my hair tie for another hair tie, who can I trade that to? Somebody that wants a hair tie. What can I trade it for? I could trade it for a dollar bill, maybe. I could trade it for gold. I could trade it for something they have. It just depends. If I was back in Egypt and I traded my hair tie for gold, who could I trade it to? Pretty much anybody in the economy for their stuff. But at the end of the day, it's just a trade. If I was back in Egypt and I traded my hair tie for a sword, who could I trade that sword to? Anybody who wants a sword. But in the same way, if I traded for gold, who could I trade the gold to? Anybody who wants gold. It's just trading. It's just like the barter system. So before money, before gold, before gold came about as money, and I'll try to explain that in a second, it was just bartering. It was just trading. If I wanted a sword, I had my hair tie. I went to the guy with the sword and I said, "Hey, you want to trade my hair tie for a sword?" He's like, "Nah." I'm like, "Dang it! Well, how can I get that sword off you?" He says, "I don't know. I want a pie." Okay, so I go to the person who makes pie, or somebody who has ingredients to make pie. I say, "Hey, you want to trade my hair tie?" That's all I got is hair ties. Like, "You want to trade my hair tie for some ingredients to make pie?" I said, "Sure." So I go home, make a pie, come back to the guy, get my sword. That's what you had to do. It's all just trading. When money came about, I could trade my hair tie for gold, and pretty much everybody was willing to trade their stuff for gold. Why was that? Because at the time, the pharaoh in Egypt, he kind of wore gold. Everybody kind of was like, ooh, bling, bling, value. They agreed that it had value. So everybody's like, yeah, I'm going to trade my stuff for gold because I know gold has value. And eventually, people just came to realize that everybody would be willing to trade their stuff for gold. And it's kind of like just an automatic de facto, I don't know what you want to call it, but because the pharaoh wore it, bling, bling, whatever, everybody agreed it had value. So everybody's willing to trade their stuff for it. And naturally, it became this middleman for these transactions because, everybody's willing to trade their stuff for it. So you could trade your stuff for gold and go take it to anybody, and anybody in the economy was willing to trade their stuff for it. So what's really important to know here is that I could trade my hair tie for gold, and then I ask the same question: who could I trade that gold to? There could be somebody in the economy who says, "No, I don't want gold. I want pie. All I want is pie." And you're like, "Dang it! Okay, so you go trade your gold for some pie ingredients or whatever. Go make a pie and get whatever you want from that guy." Let's say the guy with the sword, he doesn't want gold. Everybody else in the economy wants gold except for that guy. He wants pie. So they're like, "Dang it!" So you trade your hair tie. You could go to the person with the pie ingredients and be like, "Hey, can I trade you my hair tie for some pie ingredients?" He's like, "No." So you might just have to go find somebody who wants freaking a hair tie, trade them for gold because you're pretty sure they want gold. Don't lose me here. And, you know, get your hands on some pie ingredients and go get a sword. Why is that important to note? Because gold, even though it's used as money, it's not universally accepted. It's just accepted by a lot of people. And with that, whatever you have, there's a certain amount of people that are willing to trade their stuff for it. It's still just bartering. If I trade my hair tie for a diamond, how many people are willing to trade their stuff for a diamond? Probably a lot. If I traded for a dollar bill, one of these stupid ass fucking crinkly old man monopolized fiat currencies that exist in the world today, if I traded for one of those, who can I trade it to? One of those fucking paper fucking banknotes. If I trade my hair tie for one fucking bitch ass fucking paper money fiat currency central bank printed fucking banknote, then what the fuck could I trade it for? Or who could I trade it to? Anybody who's willing to trade their stuff for those, okay? And even then, if I trade my hair tie for a United States dollar, who can I trade the United States dollar to? People who trade their stuff for United States dollar. If I was to go, okay, then who could I trade that dollar to? Wait, what did I just say? I might have just lost myself there. If I trade this for a dollar, United States dollar, who can I trade a dollar to? People who trade stuff for a dollar. Can I go to China with my dollar directly and trade it to somebody over there? No, because they don't accept the United States dollar. They only accept their money. So I'd have to trade. So no, it's not universally accepted, first of all. That's really what's important to note. The United States, no money is universally accepted. It's just a group of people that are willing to accept something in trade for what they have. So in the same way, I use this example a lot. Pokemon cards. When I was young, all of my friends, we used to trade Pokemon cards. We all kind of had a understanding how much each one was worth, right? So if I had a Charizard, or if one of my friends had a Charizard, I'd say, hey, you want to trade my hair tie for Charizard? If I traded my hair tie for Charizard, who could I trade my Charizard to? Who would be willing to trade their stuff for my Charizard? Anybody who agrees it has value, who agrees to trade their stuff. And there's a certain amount of people in the world at that time, I guarantee it, that would have been willing to trade their stuff for Charizard. I could have probably traded my Charizard for an Xbox or whatever. You know what I mean? There's a group of people that agree it has value and are willing to trade their stuff for it. That is the only, at the end of the day, a Pokemon card is just a trading card. It's just an item. It's just a good, just like anything else. Gold is just a good. But there's a group of people that are willing to trade their stuff for it. And that's what makes it money. It's just, instead of, if I trade this for another hair tie, there's probably like 2 people I could find that are willing to trade their stuff for it. It's still just bartering. It's just the same. If I trade my hair tie for a Pokemon card, and then who can I trade my Pokemon card to? Anybody who's willing to trade this stuff for it. But it's still just bartering. It's still the same thing. If I trade this for a pie, who can I trade the pie to? The guy with the sword. It's the same exact thing. It's just bartering. That's how money works. Except with any of these given items that people like to call money, there's just a really big group of people that are willing to trade their stuff for it. So gold, when it came about, everybody was like, oh yeah, the Pharaoh wears that. Of course it has value. Everybody agreed it had value. So there's a really big group of people willing to trade the shit for it. And that was how the first money came about. It was still just an item. People were still just bartering. It was just, this item was very fucking popular. You see what I'm saying? And the same thing with Pokemon cards. The same thing with the dollar. See, the dollar, we were kind of scammed into using that. Because people, the banknotes, there's a big scam involving banknotes and them being receipts for gold. So people were using gold, first of all. But then there was a big scam with banking where people were led to believe that these banknotes were actually worth gold when they weren't. The banks just started printing off all these banknotes. Everybody believed they were just worth gold. And everybody just started using these dollars, these banknotes as money instead. And they forgot that gold was even money because they just got so used to using these banknotes. So there's a big scam with that. That's how people got to start using those. And so naturally, you know, the group of people that were willing to trade the stuff for gold, they started using these banknotes that were said to be worth gold. And eventually people just forgot that the gold itself was money, and banknotes just, you know, were kind of replaced them. And in the same way, in the United States, the banknotes, the Federal Reserve notes that are created from the crusty old man's central bank, the Federal Reserve. If I trade this hair tie for a crusty old man's banknote, who can I trade it to? Whoever's willing to trade this stuff for it. That's not, you know what I'm saying? Does this all make sense, hopefully? So that's really what I think needs to be understood about money. Money is just a motherfucking item. Everything in the economy is still just bartering. It's trading. If I trade this for a fucking banknote, who can I trade it to? Anybody who's willing to trade this shit for a banknote. If I trade it for a fucking ounce of gold, who can I trade it to? Anybody who's willing to trade their fucking ounce of gold for, or whoever willing to trade stuff for an ounce of gold. If I trade it for a fucking pie, who can I trade it to? Anybody's willing to trade this shit for a fucking pie. Do you see what I'm saying? That is how the economy works. It's all just bartering. That is the entire economy. There's nothing else. Anything that is called money is just it's just some type of item. It's still just bartering. You're gonna trade your shit for it, and then trade it to somebody else for what you actually want. You don't just. That's just what it is. That's how the economy works, dude. That's how it all works. And very important for people to understand. So we could use Pokemon cards as money. We could use gold as money. We could use silver as money. The thing about gold, you don't want to use gold as money right now because the whole supply has already been monopolized by these crusty old men with their fucking Federal Reserve, with their fucking scam, making people believe the banknotes are worth money or worth gold whenever they were doing all types, when they were just printing a shitload of them and then, you know, giving them out as loans. And then people were, they said they'll accept real gold in return for these banknotes they were printing. So they fucking ended up cornering the entire market on gold already. So if we were to use gold, you know, they already cornered the market, and that wouldn't be no good because they could just fucking. There's more to it than that with the values of money, and basically it's almost like diamonds. I heard this is something that happened with diamonds. I heard, you know, certain people have basically monopolized the mines over in Africa and stuff where diamonds come from. They monopolized the entire supply of diamonds, and thus they cornered the market. You know, created an artificially low supply, and because they did that, the value of the diamond is really high, which means whenever they trade a diamond to somebody, they trade a lot of something that they have for it. Maybe dollars, maybe gold, maybe shit. Somebody will trade their entire house for a diamond, right? But they have a whole fucking mine full of those diamonds. And right now, because they're only letting a little bit out at a time, it has a really, really high value, an artificially high value. And people are willing to trade a whole shitload of shit for it. But little do they know, they have an entire fucking mine full of more diamonds. And they're just going to keep doing that little by little. The same thing with gold. Since the market on gold is already cornered, if people start using it, trading their shit for it, you know, if you could say if the demand for it increases and they just let a little bit out at a time, eventually people be trading a shitload of shit for little pieces of gold, and they have the whole entire fucking supply of it. So it's really a bad idea to use gold again. A lot of economists think it's a good idea, but it's really not. Silver, maybe. It depends on the dispersion of whatever people use as money. And I have an entire solution for it. I see, like, I'm in the state of Texas. I suggest Texas fucking print its own money to pay for, like, fucking highways, any type of infrastructure, schools, whatever, instead of taxes, and pay the workers who offer their labor, you know, pay them in money that's printed, and, you know, that would be the issuance of money. It's not borrowed. There's no debt. It doesn't have to be paid back. Hopefully the supply will stay stable if people are involved enough in what money's being printed for. Eventually, if more and more people start to use it as money, the demand increases while the supply is however big it is. You know, the more the demand for it increases while the supply stays about the same, you know, the higher its value gets, the more stuff people are willing to trade for it. They're going to be competing for it by offering stuff for it. And when that happens, it'll have a really high relative value. The government has to print less and less to pay for whatever, you know, the people that represent the government or that are making these decisions in the government, you know, they will only have to print so much to pay for a highway or something when the value of the money gets really high, when people are all competing for it and they offer a lot more stuff for it. So that's a roundabout way, easy way to explain the values of money. But generally speaking, what's important is understanding, first of all, that no money is universal. Anything that people call money is really just an item. It's a good. And there's a certain amount of people that are willing to trade their stuff for it. If I trade my hair tie for a pie, who can I trade my pie to? The pie to. Whoever wants a pie. You see what I'm saying? Even if I had a dollar bill, if I traded for a dollar bill, who can I trade a dollar bill to? Anybody who's willing to trade the stuff for a dollar bill. If I go to China, it's a no-go over there. If there's a guy with a sword who does not want anything but a pie, he says, no, I don't want your fucking dirty-ass, crinkly old man money. I want a fucking pie. So what do I got to do? I got to go trade. Either I can trade my hair tie directly for a pie, or go trade it for gold and then get a pie, or I can trade it for a dollar bill and get a pie, whatever it takes. I got to get what the fuck the guy wants who has what I had to get what I want, right? I have to go get a fucking pie so this motherfucker will trade me a sword if I really want a sword. That's how the economy works. It's still bartering just the same. If I want a fucking sword back before money existed, I went to the guy with a sword. I said, hey, you want to trade a hair tie? He said, no, but I do want a pie. I had to go get a fucking pie. In this economy, if I want a fucking pizza from fucking Chuck E. Cheese, what are they willing to trade pizza for? Dollar bills. I gotta go give me some fucking dollar bills. I'm gonna trade my labor for some fucking dollar bills to go get some fucking pizza from Chuck E. Cheese. Wherever you go, somebody's was what people accept in trade for what they have. It could be anything. If I go to Chuck E. Cheese could accept gold, silver, dollar bill, Chinese dollars, Chinese fucking, they could accept any fucking thing they want. They could accept back massages. They could accept fucking high fives. You know what I mean? They could, but people, the problem people have today is they think that these crusty old man fiat fucking central bank printed fucking stupid ass fucking currencies, monopolized currencies, are the only thing that's money. No, dude, anything is we still live in a fucking barter system. That's what I'm basically trying to tell you. We still live in a barter system. The only difference is people call certain items money when really they're just fucking items. That's really what it is. And that's really what it is. That's all it really is to it. You know what I mean? There just happens to be a big group of people that are willing to trade their shit for certain items. That's all there fucking is. The entire economy, we're still living in a barter system. That's all there is to it. So, got it? Sounds good. I'm gonna talk to you guys later. Or whenever I can functionally press this button and turn off the camera. I'm out of here. I'll talk to you guys later, right? Deuce.